pussy. Come on, pussy.
So it's now Saturday the 17th of February and I wake up in my weekend retreat. Yes, I'm now in Soirac in the heart of the Dordogne country. That wasn't where I was staying, that's just the chateau across the valley. This is the view from my window. Soirac is in the heart of the Dordogne. We drove up yesterday from Vezere to Caddouin and then saw various places to the south and east of Soirac, which is here, and that's the restaurant and hotel that I'm staying at. It's a nice little Dordogne village. Now today I want to see various places to the west and north of Soirac. But first we must drive a little to the east again to see Beynac. The castle at Beynac, dating from the 13th century, was built to command this section of the Dordogne Valley. Again, as you can see, the river is quite full. Now what we're doing now is going up the road round to the entrance to the castle. It's rather like approaching Wadston, but not through parkland, of course. For most of its life the castle was held by the French during those wars of possession, but it was occasionally captured by the English, on one occasion I believe by Richard I. We're heading now to the north of Soirac to, and I'm not quite sure how to say this, Les Eyzies. We're now on the river Vezere, and this is the centre for visiting all these prehistoric caves which are strung out along the Vezere. Again, the Vezere seems to be well supplied. I couldn't find any of these caves and they all seemed to be closed anyway, and I didn't want to go in them, so that was quite convenient. There seem to be a lot of these cave dwellers around here, like troglodytes as they call them, and some even built a house up there, look. One or two of the places I visited had these troglodytes. Right, we're now in Le Bugue. Just seem to have missed the Saturday morning market. Does anybody know what Verglas is? I just happened to spot this tiny little Romanesque chapel as I was driving along. Apparently it was built by Henry II as part of his penance for the murder of Becket. Incidentally, the French attribute Henry's conquest of large areas of southwest France, including the Périgord and Agen, to the exploits of Becket when he was still Chancellor. Right, now this is Limeuil, where the Vezere, under that bridge there, flows into the Dordogne, under that bridge there, and then flows down this way. The level was a bit high today. Come on in, here's a good boy. This is obviously a very pleasant spot for an afternoon out, a picnic or something. There are a couple of catering establishments and a little car park, but they were all closed today. And this is where we're going to go now. We're looking at this from the other end of the valley, and we've got to walk up there right to the top. Now now here we go. We're walking because you can't go up by car. I mean, I think the locals can, but we can't, and neither can horses. So we're going to walk up there now. And then up there. Now does anybody know whether that's a nuthatch or a tree creeper? I know one goes up to the tree and one goes down. Now then we're going to walk up there. And then up there. Now there's a bit of a view. A bit more to walk up here. And then up there, and there's the view again. I think we're fairly near the top now. I've no information to suggest that this was a bastide or has a particularly nice church or anything, but it's just quite different really, and quite an experience to walk up here and see this place. There's the little church. And the access at the other side of this is quite on the level, so it's not particularly defensive, I don't think. There's the road to somewhere or other. Now we're back in the little square again. Now here's something very interesting, a panoramic park, and funded by the Common Market, of course. Now then, look at that, that's going to be interesting to have a look in there. Oh, the park is closed to the public. Anyway, back down the hill, no horses, and it was fairly easy going down, and here we are back down here. Now where else could you leave your camera on a wall for all that time and it would still be there when you get back? Right, so we must be heading back now southwards towards Soirac, across the bridge over the Vezere, and then we just make a brief stop in Le Boisson de Caddouin, mainly just to get some supplies. There's the Tour de France just going through.
So here we are now in Belves, up another hill.
And there we are, look, just to the south of Soirac, right at the bottom of the map. And up here, including the round tower, are the remains of an old Templar building.
Something else being renovated, no doubt at the expense of the European Social Fund or something.
So Belves is just another interesting little hill town.
And this is now the local hospital, if it always was.
I see they had troglodytes here as well. There's part of an old fortification, and another nice little covered market, medieval I believe. So let's just have a stroll around down the main shopping street, out on the edges. There's the church, there's some back streets. Now, back in the street, one of these shops is a very interesting one. It's actually a museum, and that man there has made all these medieval instruments from drawings he found.
Look at that one there.
And there's an advert for this site, Troglodytic.
Right, now back in Soirac.
And the couple who run the place where I'm staying are actually English. I think their main interest is the restaurant at the front, but there it is, and the hotel accommodation is behind. That's the old local chateau there. So to get to the accommodation you would just go down the side of the restaurant there, round to the courtyard at the back, and there would be the accommodation block. So you are just across this courtyard from the dining room. So if we just have a look in there, in the dining room, that is, for a minute, we'll see.
Speaking to you. Would you like to look this way, Puss? Pussy, come on. Have your picture taken properly.
And I think this is actually a different one from the one we saw this morning.